So, I've been reviewing Akko products for about 4 years now, back in the day when their products are not widely available yet, especially here in the Philippines. And I've always deemed Akko products as one of the best bang for the buck when it comes to mechanical keyboards, offering decent quality for its price. And their product roadmap is actually quite impressive, starting from budget pre-built keyboards, then themed keyboards like the popular Akko Tokyo World Tour series. They even offered officially collaborated anime-themed keyboards like the Dragon Ball Z and the One Piece series. Then they slowly moved up to cater with the enthusiast community, coming up with their own lineup of switches and keycaps, and finally offered their first enthusiast level mechanical keyboard kit with the mod series in 2021, followed quickly by the ACR series. Now, at this point, I feel like every mechanical keyboard enthusiast has probably tried at least one Akko product, right? And the thing that I most appreciate with Akko is that they continue to listen to the community and keep every one of us on our toes, releasing one product after another. Anyways, sorry for the long intro, going back to memory lane, and this is not a sponsored video by the way. I just really appreciate what Akko has done as I share with you one of the most beginner-friendly, highly customizable mechanical keyboards out in the market, the Akko ACR Pro 75. So if you're a beginner and you're looking for a mechanical keyboard that you can customize and tinker with as you learn and get your feet wet on the hobby, this is probably the perfect starter keyboard. With that being said, let's get into it. So right here we have the packaging for the Akko ACR Pro 75, and this is available in a bare bones DIY kit and in a fully built keyboard with switches and keycaps. For this video, we have the latter with the Akko CS Crystal switches and the Akko black on white ASA PBT keycaps. Upon opening the box, you'll see the styrofoam protection, then the user manual, the extra polycarbonate plate, the Akko ACR Pro 75 itself, and another accessory box that houses the rest of the Akko black on white ASA PBT keycaps, which makes this fully built variant a better value overall considering its price. Inside the box, we also have a cold cable with gold-plated plugs and a Velcro strap. We also have a switch and keycap puller, some replacement silicone gaskets, and a spare daughter board for the USB Type-C port. As a bonus, we even have another metal switch puller here and an optional height adjustment stand. At first look and touch, the Akko ACR Pro 75 looks like any typical acrylic keyboard with a relatively lightweight but fairly solid construction without much flex, especially with normal use. This fully built keyboard weighs roughly around 827 grams, which again is quite lightweight compared to other 75% keyboards that I have here in the studio. Now, in terms of the layout, obviously as the model name says, this features a 75% layout with some of the nav cluster keys here on the right side, dedicated arrow keys, complete function rows up top, and the standard alphanumeric keys. In terms of the keycaps, we have the popular Akko black on white PBT keycaps in the ASA profile, which look absolutely perfect with the acrylic casing. It is super clean and minimal. Flipping it on the front side, as you can tell, the screws around are visible, as well as the silicone gaskets. Turning it all over at the bottom, we have 4 spherical rubber feet, and as you can see, the PCB is somehow visible here, and it actually has some LEDs around as well for that underglow effect. Flipping it back to the left side, this keyboard features a high-profile case design, which means the switches are hidden for a cleaner look. You can also see here the shape and height of the ASA profile. Finally, on the back side, we have the USB Type-C port here in this corner. Overall, the design is pretty basic, but clean and minimal nonetheless. Now, removing the keycaps reveals the included switches, which are the new Akko CS Crystal switches. These are Akko's first ever full polycarbonate switch, so the top housing, the stem, and bottom housing are all made out of polycarbonate plastic, which is quite interesting. It is linear and has an actuation force of 43 grams, which is fairly lightweight. It is smooth out of the box, but can definitely get better once lubed. The sound signature is on the clacky side, at least for this particular keyboard. In terms of the stabilizers, what we have here is Akko's own DoubleShot TPU plate mount stabilizers. We'll talk about it more later once we tear this keyboard apart. Now, another good thing here with this kit is that it comes with an extra polycarbonate plate, which again adds to the overall good value of this keyboard for its price. It also features a universal hot swap socket, making customization a piece of cake even if you're not interested to do further mods. Speaking of mods, let's tear this keyboard apart so that you can have an idea of how easy it is to open up for any possible customization that you can imagine. All you have to do is just remove all the screws around the edges, either using the included tool or using your own screwdriver. Once done, you can easily lift the top cover like so and have access to the plate and PCB combo. As you can tell, the process is pretty straightforward and beginner friendly. You don't have to pry anything, and this is usually the case for acrylic keyboards, as most of the time they are just mounted on top of each other. Now, before you can lift up the PCB and plate combo, you have to carefully detach the cable, and you can do this in two methods. Either you detach the cable from the daughter board, or do what I did here, which is just unscrew the daughter board altogether. I feel like it is easier to do this instead of tinkering with the cable. Now, around the aluminum plate, we have the silicone gaskets, which I gotta say are really effective for dampening the contact between the plate and the top and bottom case. I'm going to remove this because I'm replacing the aluminum plate with the extra polycarbonate plate. Now, the bottom case is made almost entirely out of a single CNC acrylic material with just some rubber feet underneath it. We actually have a white EVA foam dampener here for the bottom case. It was just stuck at the back of the PCB right here. This will essentially reduce the hollow sound and some of the reverb. The universal hot swap socket of choice here is from the TTC brand and is color blue. Now, removing the screws around the aluminum plate reveals the flexible and dense poron dampener inside. And aside from that, we even have a silicone switch pad, making this keyboard essentially one of the most complete pre-built keyboards out on the market. Now, going back to the stabilizers, the unique thing about this is that it features POM housing with POM plus TPU stems, essentially dampening the rattling and pinging sounds. It is also pre-lubed out of the factory. Now, I'm not going as far as saying it is better compared to most manual stabs tuning methods, but I'd say it is definitely better compared to most stock stabilizers from other pre-built keyboards. It is also worth noting that the PCB on the Akko ACR Pro 75 also supports aftermarket screw-in stabilizers, which is a good bonus. Like I said, I'm going to replace the aluminum plate with the included polycarbonate plate so that we can do a quick comparison sound test later. Personally, I prefer polycarbonate plate over aluminum simply because it is more flexible and doesn't suffer from the typical pinging sound coming from the aluminum material. Polycarbonate plate is also more forgiving in terms of flex and offers a softer typing experience. Now, putting it all back together is as easy as tearing it apart. You just have to reverse the process. Before we proceed with the sound test part of the video, let me just give you some more details about the keycaps for my beginner viewers out there. So these are the Akko black on white PBT keycaps in the ASA profile. DoubleShot means there is a separate material for the legends and that it will never fade away over time. PBT material is also known to not shine easily over time compared to ABS, and with the good thickness of around 1.3 to 1.5mm, it should provide a good overall sound signature. As for the ASA profile, it features a spherical shape with a relatively comfortable height compared to the popular SA profile. It shares the same aesthetically pleasing look while still being perfectly usable. A little bit of both worlds from the OEM and SA profile, I would say. And for the cherry on top, we have the white coiled cable right here. Now, here's how it looks when the keyboard is turned on. And I'm not going to dive deep into the lighting modes, but rest assured that the illumination on this keyboard is adequate enough. Here's a quick sound test for you guys. And there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Huge thanks to Akko for sending this in, and let me know in the comments below what other Akko products you want me to review. Personally, I'm looking forward to the wireless versions of the ACR and Mod series, especially the Alice layout. If you're interested in this, you can get this using the link below and you can use my code for an extra discount. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.